Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity, Stop the New World Order. Welcome to her Panwo TV. I'm sky watching tonight, and I just thought I'd invite everyone out to join me. We could look for UFOs, and at the same time, on the same theme, discuss this disclosure business I keep hearing about all the time. You know, you keep hearing, oh, it's going to happen soon. Barack Obama, when he picks up his Nobel Prize for all these things he hasn't done, is going to announce disclosure. Well, personally, I think he needs to avoid driving past any school book depositories if he has that in mind. Basically, I'm out sky watching tonight, and I'm looking at the sky at the moment. It's a perfect sky watching night, clear skies, tall buildings and things around me, so I can use some static gauges to measure the movement of any craft or objects I see. The problem is there's always objects in the sky moving, always lights in the sky, and things like aircraft. Sometimes you get quite a little ping off overhead satellites as they pass through the setting sun, especially at dawn and dusk. You've got to watch out for them too, they can be misleading. So it's always a bit of a trick to look for something which doesn't quite fit into all that. But I have seen such things. As for disclosure, right, disclosure's coming soon. The governments are going to announce everything they know about UFOs. Well, I will believe it when I see it, basically. I'm very doubtful that's going to happen. I saw Steve Bassett live a few weeks ago. Now, he's a well-meaning guy, but he's very, very naive. He's got involved with David Rockefeller and Hillary Clinton. He says, oh yeah, they're right behind public disclosure. So, yeah, like hell they are. It's like, I can't see how we can ever have public disclosure, actually, from the Illuminati occupying governments of this world. Because for them it will be suicide. You know, if they ever say a single word about what they know about UFOs, it'll be the first domino in the line, and others will inevitably fall. And one of those is a domino that says we have captured stuff from alien craft. We have captured aliens. We have salvaged crash flying saucers. We have back engineered their technology, their power sources, their propulsion systems. We have free energy, you know, and well, we didn't tell you about it. So, well, we're telling you now. Is that all right? Sorry. No, it's unthinkable. For the first place, they'd have to deal with the fact that we had free energy and the liberating effect that would cause. And secondly, they'd have to admit they could have told us 50 to 100 years ago. Because it's not just Roswell and alien crashes where free energy comes from. Nikola Tesla discovered it like 50 years before Roswell. So that's something they'd have to deal with. That we would never trust them again, and they'd have to kiss the New World Order goodbye, and they would never ever do that. Now, because just think about it, you know, what exactly is going to happen? You know, are we going to switch on the news one day on TV? I'm back to the studio. Thank you, Jade. And in other news today, aliens are real. UFOs are real. The government has just announced it, and they've known about it for about 100 years, but they decided not to tell us. And here's Michael Fish with the weather. I don't think so. I mean, if you watch my films Frycraft, you will learn a bit more about exactly what is involved in this issue. You know, this is all the things the politics of it all. Basically, you know, they would have to say, well, we've known about free energy, we didn't tell you. So that means that everything that's happened since then, you know, all these wars for oil, all this poverty, all these people who died in the third world, the environmental destruction. It's all been for nothing. It was all preventable. They'll have to admit that they could have prevented it and didn't. They chose to keep it so they could keep their power over us. It'll never happen. We will never have willing disclosure from the Illuminati-occupied government. It will happen when, in the final endgame between ourselves and the Illuminati, it'll be wrenched from their grasp. It'll all come out. Oh, what's that? What's that? Let me just try and zoom in a bit. There's something up there. Can you see it? No, what's that? No, I think that looks to me like an aircraft. Yeah, it's an aircraft. It's not what I thought it was. No. So that's basically the situation we're in terms of the politics of disclosure. You know, but I could be wrong. Yes, it does happen. Occasionally it happens. You know, so keep an eye on the news. Any hint of anything coming out, spread it around the net. Make sure you know that any scoops get blown up and distributed, so no one can retract them later. You never know; it could happen. It could possibly be happening. You never know. But don't be surprised if Barack Obama meets with a fatal injury or an accident or illness in the next few weeks or week before he collects his Nobel Prize. If the rumours about him making the announcement of his Nobel Prize speech are true. And there's also another thing. I mean, it's a cultural thing, really. Richard Hoagland talks about this. He talks about he discusses the Brookings Report and things like that. For some reason, the Illuminati seem to have a vested interest in us believing that we are this tiny little oasis of life. The Earth is this oasis of life in a vast, infinite cosmic desert of inanimate matter. You know, for some reason, they don't want us seeing the world, things any different. As if it's in their interest that we think that, and if we didn't think that, there might be trouble on their behalf. So that's another thing we've got to look at. That's always something I've been thinking about. You know, well, some guy said, there's a guy from SETI saying, oh, come on, everyone knows about, half the people think there's aliens anyway, so if they announced it, well, they just say, yeah, we knew it all along, you know, we've seen it in the sci-fi movies, you know, we've always thought that. Well, no, because it's one thing to think things privately, it's another to have the government admit that they're real. That's something entirely different. It's a complete other kettle of fish. I think it would, the cultural implications would be profound. The acknowledgement there were intelligent aliens out there. We would inevitably want to meet them. We'd want to exchange ideas. The Illuminati would have one hell of a problem sorting that out. You know, sorting out the wheat from the chaff, making sure only the aliens they wanted us to see came and saw us. You know, and then of course we'd say, well, can we have some of their technology and stuff like that? So we really are. It really, I think, is not on the cards for that reason as well. There's another reason. I'll go into that because in part 2, because I'm going to. I'll discuss that in part 2 because there's a bit more to come. We're running out of time now. So see you in part 2. Maybe there'll be some UFOs before the end of this broadcast. Thanks for watching.